Got some cold propane this morning. What's up, my good man? How are you, Duck? I'm chilling today, and chilling is a good word to use because I'm pretty cold. It's like 30, 35 out here or something like that. It was like 80 yesterday, 30 today. The forge is being weird. You ever have that problem where you go to light it and it, like, the line freezes up or something almost? Kind of strange. Anyway, yesterday spent a good bit of time forging out this, I guess you could call it Cu Mai, and kind of got some length out of it, but I'm trying to thin it out today. In the 60s here. Nice. Yeah, that 60s is perfect. It's definitely a little on the chilly side today, but it'll be fine. That was my old Christmas tree that just fell. So since I've been in this house, each year I save the Christmas trees. So we've got the first year Christmas tree, the second year, and the third year. So yeah, we've been here at this house for three years. I don't know why I save them, just because I'm weird, I guess. But yeah, they're back there in the corner. So anyway, yeah, just gonna spend some time today at the anvil and gonna continue to forge out the Cu Mai billet that I have in the forge currently. Let me take you off and show you around. Yeah, so got the anvil over here. It's kind of my little working area. Got the forge going. I just lit it, so it's probably going to be a while. But yeah, got the little single burner forge going. You know, it's funny, yesterday, the very first time I pulled it out to do a forge weld, some copper started spewing out, some liquid copper. So I definitely got it a little too hot on the first round. And luckily nobody was near me. I had my brother and kid out here in the backyard, but I was definitely flinging molten copper around the yard, and yeah, that was pretty cool. But I think despite the spewing copper, it went pretty good for the most part. I can pull it out and show you here. I started with a 6-inch billet. That was about 1.5 inches, and we've made it about 8 inches, and maybe I'd say a little less than 1/2 inch wide, but that's what we're starting with, and definitely needs to be thinner, that's for sure. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time out here just kind of beating it out. I also recently found this log down the end of a, I don't know, gravel road or end of a road, and it was already cut like this, kind of cool. So I just dragged it over here and threw this little rusty anvil on it, and I don't know, it's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know what this thing is. I got this off of my boss from work. It's like a fireplace thing or something. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Yeah, it really is just about perfect. You know, my knuckle height is pretty stinking close, and I don't know who cut this up. They were clearing a bunch of land out there, but they did me a solid by cutting this into a square and then leaving it, so it's kind of cool. But yeah, anyway, gonna start banging this out as soon as it gets hot. I definitely made some progress yesterday, at least, and I'm excited to kind of get this one going. My plan is to get, if I can, get it stretched out enough to make a couple of knives out of it. That's kind of the goal. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. This knife here, I had the billet about the same when I was done with it, and you can tell this knife is thick. It's probably a little over 1/4 inch thick at the spine here, which is pretty beefy. And yeah, definitely don't want to make this one too beefy. What's up, Randy? Glad you could make it, man. What are we making? So I am working on I guess you could call it a Cu Mai billet. I can show you kind of the idea on the paper here. So we've got a really thick piece of 1084, and then we've got copper, a thin copper layer, and then we jump to, I believe, yeah, 80 CRV2, and then 15 and 20, and then another piece of 80 CRV. So that's what, 9 layers. And this is kind of my guess as to what it would look like. You know, all dark with a copper line, a dark line, and then the 15 and 20, and then all dark on the top. So that's kind of the goal, is to work on that billet and get it thinned out some more. I was also working on this one. This is just a leftover piece of Damascus. I've been banging on this stinking thing for months, just because I don't spend a lot of time on it. But yeah, that's kind of what I do. I try to work on different billets here and there when I can, when I have time. And yeah, that's all you can do. I'm pretty busy, you know. I got the full-time job, the wife, the 3 kids, and they all have hobbies and stuff, so I just don't have a ton of time to do my hobby. But, you know, I try to make as much time as I can. Duck says he's going to be working on my collab daggers today. Nice. And Randy says, okay, you got a plan. I got a plan for the most part anyway. I am definitely a wing it type of dude. And anytime I have even like a small plan or half of a plan, then I'm doing good. Definitely just kind of make it up as I go. So yeah, it's actually, it's a little chilly out here, but it's nice. The sun is shining, and yeah, it should be a pretty good day. Starting to heat up a little bit here. I was telling Duck earlier, when I first brought that out for the first forge weld yesterday, you know, I tried to do some research. Okay, well, copper melts at around 1900 degrees or so, maybe a little less than that. I can't remember, but I was like, all right, I gotta try to do the forge weld at a little bit lower of a temperature so I don't melt the copper. Well, when I brought it over to the anvil and hit it for the first time, I barely whacked it, and you could see copper just spurting out this way, and which is crazy because I welded the entire seams of the billet, and so I thought, even if I do get it to where it's melting, surely it won't squeeze out of there. But apparently I didn't. I must have had a pinhole in the weld or something. I'm not sure. One of my friends is going to a college that allows knives, so he wants a 9-inch blade dagger. Nice. You never know when you go to college, man. You gotta have a long EDC dagger. You don't know. You just never know. You gotta protect yourself. That's funny. You're from Pennsylvania, right? What college is you going to? Fully integral for Barian Sykes? Sykes? I'm not sure what that is. Sounds cool. Yeah, that is cool though, man. It seems like you do kind of those projects where you're doing them for specific people that have asked you. So that's pretty cool. I don't really have many of those outside of maybe a few friends that have asked me. Hey, what's going on? Newt's Leather and Metal Smithy. My man, how are you, buddy? Newt is in the house. Hope you guys are doing well. We got 15 people in here. That's awesome. I'm glad each and every one of you could make it. If you're in here, say hey and let us know what you're up to today. We're gonna be banging on some hot steel here in a few minutes and just hanging out and having a good time. Starting to get a little bit warmer. We're gonna move this and try to heat this section up some. just recently added this little shelf. Let me turn you guys around. Sheath making, right on. Randy, I know you do all kinds of stuff in your videos. Do you also make knives? Have you made any knives on the channel? Or do you just like, is that like a hobby of yours, or do you just like watching it? So yeah, I made this shelf recently on the forge. What's up, little Gray Wolf Forge? How are you, buddy? Anyway, this little shelf here, I just welded a piece of old angle iron on it, and that way it could hold a fire brick. And then I've got just this little leftover piece, and when I'm ready to scooch it out of the way, it kind of helps keep it from falling off. Kind of hard to do it one-handed when you're holding the phone, but I guess you get the idea. Yeah, so you can just kind of kick it out of the way there without it falling off. It's pretty cool, you know, just kind of a quick, simple little thing. Yeah, what's up, Gray Wolf Forge? What are you doing today, man? Hopefully something fun. It's Sunday, and yeah, Sundays are days to enjoy the day, doing what you want to do. Currently just a hobby for me. Friends and family get all of my knives. I just finished up 6 knives. Nice! You should make some videos, or maybe you have. But if you have, let me know, because I'll go back and look for them. That'd be really cool to see what you come up with. Some of the stuff you do, like the restorations and all the things you do in the shop, I can tell you've definitely got skills. You got a lot of cool machinery too, and tools, and I know you could probably come up with some wicked cool stuff. What's up, John? How are you, buddy? Glad you're in here. I got quite a few people in here. John Odo is a guy that I used to work with. Actually made him a knife on the channel not too long ago. Yeah, finally catching you live. I'm glad you're here, brother. We're about to start banging on some hot steel. Seems like a good day for that. It's a little chilly out here. Yeah, glad you guys are here. Yeah, we're gonna let this heat up just a little bit more. I don't want to overheat it because then I'll be spewing copper everywhere. No knife videos yet. I post pics on Instagram of my knives. Okay, right on. I don't do Instagram or Facebook or really anything else. I'm pretty much just YouTube. I guess I got to get with it. Lots of people do all the other things. And I really don't. I never really have, honestly. But yeah, your channel's awesome, man. You got all kinds of cool stuff. That's what I think is cool about your channel, Randy, is you never know what you're going to be doing, and it's something new and refreshing each time you post a video. It's not, oh, it's Matt again, he's going to be making another knife. It's, you know, you never know what you're going to get with Randy. That's why his channel's cool. And we got 19 people in here, one of which I know is working for Monster. So Monster, if you're a Monster rep in the channel, go ahead and hit me up. Let's strike a deal, right? Let's go ahead and sponsor the OG Frenchy for some rehab and recovery, because you know I need it. I got the sun in like the worst possible position right now. It's really hard to see the heat and the color on that thing at the moment. But we're pretty close. Yeah, I spent quite a bit of time yesterday forging this out. I spent probably 2 hours maybe. So we started with 6 inches and 1.5 inches, and in 2 hours I got it to 8 inches and about 2 inches. So it's really slow moving for me. I don't know if it's because I'm getting old and I'm not hitting it as hard or what, but it just seems like these billets just take forever to hand forge. I really want to make a press or buy a press or something. That would be super cool. Even just something ghetto like a log splitter turned into a smusher would be really sweet. I think that could potentially be something in the future. You got to swing a large hammer energetically. Yeah, I got to be like 20-year-old duck and swing it like I'm mad at it. Yeah. I think that might have been another little piece of molten copper. I just heard something whiz past, and I think it landed in the water bucket over here because it sounded like, yeah, some hot fire going into some water. And you could tell that was not that hot. I mean, maybe a little in the middle, but yeah, that's one thing you gotta look out for, I guess, when you're trying to forge weld copper to steel. I guess now that the forge is up to heat, it shouldn't take too long to heat back up. The mighty bullfrog. Duck got long arms, so more leverage. Yeah, duck does have some long arms. Yeah, right now this unfortunately is my hammer. John, if you're still in here, this may look familiar. This was the old shop hammer from Ozark Fence. And Joe, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but it is now my forging hammer. And yeah, it's a 4-pound Stanley, and it's, you know, minus the handle that gives me mad blisters because it's all fiberglass and rubber. It's actually pretty good. It's got a nice flat face over here, and that kind of helps flatten and planish. But I've taken the time to kind of round this out a little bit better for you know, for a rounding style hammer. So it's crowned pretty well, and it does pretty good. 4 pounds for me is pretty good. You know, 4 pounds is not heavy, but it is if you're swinging it for a long time. You should forge a hammer. Dude, I want to forge a hammer so very badly. I don't have like a hammer eye punch, although I could make one. They're probably pretty easy to make. I actually bought some steel with the intention of turning it into a hammer. So that is not really, I mean, that's probably something I could do and want to do. In fact, I think I have the chunk of steel inside. I'll go grab it. Yeah, so this is, what is this? 1 5/8 by 12 inches, 1045 steel round rod, cold finished. So it's definitely not as big as this, but you know, I think it could potentially be a good hammer, I guess. But I've never made a hammer before, and it looks like a ton of work. at least by hand anyway. Yeah, the copper doesn't really weld, it's a braze. So once the weldable materials are welded, you should only heat to enough to forge, not melt the copper. Good advice, thank you. Yeah, I feel like it's pretty well forge welded good. It all looks solid. It's, you know, I don't see any dark spots, so I think the forge welds are good, but only time will tell, I suppose. Yeah, I've seen some other people on YouTube do Cu Mai builds, and they just look really cool. Definitely something that I wanted to do. So I don't know though, because I have 9 layers in this, if that's making it harder on myself or not. But I thought it would be cool to incorporate some of the 15 and 20. Have you got a tungsten tip hammer? Just made one, wish I made one sooner. Straightens hardened warp blades. Yeah, I've seen people use those. I do not. But I am the king of warps. I sure do get them a lot, so that's something I should look into. How close is the torch to the forge? Definitely close, but I think we're okay. What's up, Little River? How are you, man? Glad that you made it in here. What are you up to today? Hopefully doing something fun, something knife related. Might have been an optical illusion. It was probably 2 or 3 feet behind the forge. Good looking though, because you never know. I could be over here paying attention to the phone and set the torch down on top of the forge. That would have been cool. So yeah, good looking, man. I think it's about time to pull it out again. Yeah, so according to the marks on the side of my anvil, we are at about 8 1/4 inch, and we're still way too thick. So we're gonna keep thinning this sucker out. You know what's crazy too is, let me see if I can get a shot of this for you guys. Once I go to throw it in the forge from this angle, you can see copper on the outside of the billet. You can kind of see it as it's going in there. Kind of crazy. But yeah, that was from the very first forge weld that I did, and clearly had it a little on the hot side. Yeah, it was like I was over here hitting it, and I could see the little pieces of molten copper flying out this way. So I was like, oh boy, I better wait for that to cool down some. Aren't you glad you made it to the live stream? You get a beautiful look at this awesome ladder. This is an absolutely action-packed episode here, staring at this ladder. Guess I can turn it around. There we go. Action-packed, baby. Capillary action. Okay, perhaps. Think it's like working its way up to the outside, maybe? That's a good looking ladder. Thanks, dude. That's what I'm saying. It's a pretty good little 6-footer. Yeah, I kind of want to try the little railroad anvil that I've got over here. I was showing the guys in the beginning of the video. I just found this stump at the end of a dirt road yesterday, and they're clearing out a bunch of land over there, and saw it sitting there like, dang, somebody made this for me and left it right here just for me, and pretty cool. Oh, let's go, the Mighty Bullfrog. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. Very, very cool. Is that euros? 2 euros? I don't know, but I'm not sure what it is, but thanks, man. Very cool of you. But yeah, anyway, someone made this stump just for me. It had my name all over it, and I thought, you know what? That's coming home. I've got to somehow figure out how to drag this thing home. And anyway, I sure did. And there you go. There's the ladder shot again. You're welcome. You're like, yo, we're missing the action. Turn it around, bro. Yeah, so anyway, only in 2025 could a dude in Missouri gather 30 people together to look at a ladder. That's what I'm saying, man. People are awesome. They're here for the ladder. That's what I think. Yeah, so capillary action. What were you talking about when you said that? Because now I'm thinking about it, and I'm seeing the copper all over the outside of the billet. Surely it's not working its way up through the steel. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't feel like it would, but maybe. Where do I live? I live in Missouri, just south of Springfield. There's a little, I guess you could call it a suburb. It's small though. It's called Nixa. It's kind of in the southwest, maybe, part of the state. Good old Missouri. Basically, the copper runs through the tiny gap in between the steel and scale. Nice, okay. Very cool. Yeah, that's new to me. I don't really know much about this. Lebanon, Missouri, right on. Yeah, actually, if you ever come to Lebanon, man, hit me up. That's about an hour away. If you ever go to visit them or something, hit me up and come over, and bang on the anvil some. Same way sap works through the tree. Okay, that makes sense. Have you guys ever made a Cu Mai or tried to forge copper before? Are there any other tips you could give me? Because I really don't know much about it. I went to basic in Missouri. Oh, basic training, you mean? Okay. Yeah, they got some different areas. Fort Leonard Wood, and I'm sure there's a couple more I'm not remembering at the moment. But yeah, that's cool. How long were you in the service, Newt? Yep, so you can see right there, copper. Definitely need to watch this a little better. Let it cool down for a second. Man, that part of the anvil sure is loud. It is ringing my ears. Alright, so we're starting to get a little bit thinner, which is good. I'm going to keep going though. That's still super thick, and let's see. Yeah, we're probably 8.5 inches, 9 inches now, so it's definitely starting to move. Turn that oxygen down a little bit. 12 years with 4 being active. Nice, man. Well, thank you for your service. Some good years, some bad. Yeah, my one of our friends, his name is Pete. He just got out, honorably discharged, and I think he kind of had the same thing. He enjoyed some parts, but other parts he didn't like. But one thing he does have are some really awesome stories. He was stationed in Hawaii for quite some time, and yeah, probably some inappropriate stories for YouTube, but yeah, he's definitely a cool guy, and just got to see him about a month ago. He came over with my brother, and we went and shot guns down at the gun range and had a pretty cool time. Texas Select in April. I got a table, we can hang out and enjoy the Texas heat. Nice. Yeah, it seems like a lot of the knife shows are in Texas. That's Texas, and then you got, what, Atlanta? There's a blade show there. We need to start a yeah, blade show here in Missouri. I'm gonna get one together. Dadgummit. Hey now, door. There we go. Never made it to Hawaii. I've never been either, man. Hawaii would be sweet, though. I moved here for them. Oh, you moved there for the knife shows, you mean? That would be cool. I went to Blade, Texas last year, saw the whole show, like 3 hours, but still had a blast. Nice. Little Gray Wolf Forge is from Virginia. Okay. Hey, yeah, I guess that'd be close. Here in a couple of days, I'm getting ready to go to South Carolina. We're taking a vacation to Myrtle Beach, so that'll be a little closer to you. For the school up north, blacksmithing school, that'd be cool too. Yeah, see, I need to go to a Blade show. I really want to, but whether I go to Atlanta or Texas, it's still pretty far for me. And I wouldn't have a table or anything. I don't consider myself a knife maker for a living. This is pretty much just a hobby for me. But I would still really love to go and see what other people are creating. Maybe pick up some cool handle material or, you know, something. At least an hour away, yeah. Yeah, I thought it would be really cool to start a business, I guess, but to rent a building, right, and then get a bunch of forges and anvils, and it could be open to the public for people who are interested in learning, but mainly targeted more towards youth, for something for them to do. You know, like you would bring your kids to jiu-jitsu or basketball or whatever. Well, you know, you could get maybe the other kids that aren't interested in sports to come over and hang out and learn how to forge or blacksmith stuff. That'd be really cool. Someplace like that would be awesome. It'd be unique, and there's definitely not one that I'm aware of around here or anywhere for that matter. I'm sure there's some somewhere, but definitely not any that I know about. Right, 9.5 inches now, so we're definitely getting some good length out of it. Really just need to keep going with the width. It's definitely still pretty thick. I'd like it to be around maybe, I don't know, 1/4 inch or a little less. That would be cool. And I think on this next heat, we'll bring it over to the old rusty, crusty, dusty. That's what I'm calling this thing. We'll give that a go here in a second and see if it does anything cool. It's actually got a pretty nice rounded over edge here, which could help aid in drawing it out. If I was to kind of tilt the billet like this and utilize this rounded over edge, that's kind of what I'm thinking. We'll see if it works. Yeah, that's so cool, man, the Mighty Bullfrog. Thanks again, dude, for hitting me up with some quiche. That's awesome, brother. Thank you. Yes, you're right. Out in the sunlight, it is very hard to gauge the temperature. You know, it's kind of eye-opening for me because when I started this yesterday, I was looking at it and thinking to myself, okay, that's about 1700. And when I pulled it out and started banging on it and sent the copper flying, realizing that my eyeballs and my brain aren't really matching up, because I think it was more like 1900. So it's definitely good to know. But yeah, I guess the more practice you have, the better you will get with that sort of thing. And I definitely need some practice still. Yeah, dude, Little River, appreciate you hanging, man. Get after it, have fun grinding, whatever you're up to, and appreciate you hanging out for a while. Okay, Randy says, just a note for you, copper melts at 1980. Dang, okay, okay. 1980. Which is pretty stinking close to 2,000 degrees. So, yeah, that tells you my eyeballs aren't as good as I thought they were. Thanks for that, man. I appreciate it. Little Gray Wolf, thanks for hanging out and appreciate you stopping by and saying hey. Yeah, definitely a different sound, that's for sure. Not as cool as I thought, so I'll probably head back to the better anvil. Almost had like a dead ringing sound. I'm gonna have to get out too and get back to work soon. All right, dude, Duck, thanks for hanging, man. Really appreciate you coming and spending your time. You're awesome, brother. One more ladder shot before you go. There you go. Just for you, Duck. Nothing like a good ladder shot to send them off. Well, happy forging to all. That's what I say. There we go. We're finally starting to thin out this middle section a little bit, which is good. Yeah, I've got all kinds of projects that I want to do. It's really hard to pick one and stick with it. It always seems like I'm jumping in between projects, or I'll start one and then I won't feel like forging, so I'll go grind, or, you know, I like to have several in the works. My channel hit 500,000 views the other day, which was cool. Heck yeah, man. That is awesome. Yeah, if you guys are in here and you don't know Duck Rabbit Forging, leave for a second, go over there, check him out, subscribe, and that way you can watch what he does. He's a kid from Pennsylvania. I can call you a kid, right? Aren't you pretty young? Like maybe 20 or so. We're all kids anyway, I suppose. Anyway, very cool, and he's got all kinds of bladesmithing, blacksmithing stuff. He's 17, okay. So younger than I thought. You are a kid. Dang it. He's 18 and a half in May, he says. 17 and a half. That's awesome, man. So, yeah, dude, what was I doing when I was 17? It wasn't blacksmithing. It was causing a ruckus. That's what I was up to. Anyway, if you guys don't know him, go check him out. Show him some support. Subscribe. And then, yeah, then you'll get to see what he does. He does cool stuff. I still say probably out of all the things I've done on the channel, one of my favorites and the one that I had the most fun on was probably this one. So this used to be a long wrench way down here, and then it had another head just like this at the bottom, and I turned it into a sword. And that one to me was a lot of fun. And the sword is actually really good. It's sharp, and it has stayed sharp for quite a while. I'm really impressed with whatever steel this is. It really is good steel. And I've saved this chunk for some other time. I might turn this into a smaller version of it maybe, or some sort of a knife. I'll go get it here in a second and show you. Trying to continue to widen it out some down here at the end. Oh yeah, that's doing really good. The horn is definitely a good thing to have on the anvil. Really helps to push the metal back and forth. Hello from Saskatchewan, Canada. Looking good. Hey, thanks, Craig. Appreciate you being here. I was jumping out of planes at 18. Yeah, doing basic training. Let me go get the sword that I was talking about that we forged from this. Some of you guys have seen it, probably most of you guys, but I like to show it off because it's cool. So this is the sword that I made out of that wrench. Definitely pretty cool. It's kind of like a saber, I guess. But it's got kind of the flared end, which is cool. And then the knuckle bow was one of the wrenches. So it's basically sitting like this, and the tang is inside this wood block here. And then the actual handle part is all of this material. But this project was a lot of fun. Definitely had a good time beating this out. And I kind of had a game plan going into this, but I actually changed it halfway through and decided to kind of, you know, do something a little different. My original plan was to smash this down and let this be the cutting edge. But once I was like halfway through it, I realized that the handle actually had a ton more steel. But yeah, this thing is Awesome. It's a cool little sword to have out here in the backyard and whack sticks. Pretty fun. Alright, so we're still making some decent progress on this thing. Still pretty thick though. It's starting to thin out a little bit down here. Yeah, and then in case you don't know my channel or you haven't been here much before, I did bring some other projects that we've made on the channel. This is a piece of granadillo wood, and it is like a Tonto style blade made out of a metal file. This project was pretty fun, and I've made a couple of these. The first one I made turned out really good. I ended up giving that to my grandpa. But I decided I really liked it and I wanted to make another one, so I made this one. And it turned out pretty good. Kind of a cool little wooden scabbard to go with it. Pretty neat project. And then I most recently forged this out. This was the stainless steel Cu Mai, and it turned out pretty good. It's a piece of black limba for the handle, and it's pretty cool wood. Yeah, it did come out nice, minus the flaws that it has. It has a couple of areas where it delaminated, but you know, minus that, it turned out pretty cool. And the stainless is just really cool, especially up against the high carbon. It just looks really cool. You can almost see like a grain type pattern, if this thing will focus. Maybe not. You can see like a bunch of little wavy stuff in the stainless, which is really cool. And then this was the first Damascus, hand-forged Damascus knife that I made. So that, you know, it's not super intricate, just kind of a random sort of pattern, but it turned out pretty good for the most part. This one's got bloodwood for the handle, and it's pretty comfortable. It's kind of goofy. Honestly, the profile is not my favorite, but it works. And then this is another cool one that I like a lot. And I didn't do any forging on this except for the S-guard. I did forge that out. But pretty much all stock removal and just a large metal file. But this one's pretty cool. It's probably one of my favorites. Definitely a neat blade. It's got the countersink bit, has a pommel, another chunk of mild steel here, the S-guard, and then the little divots up here, I think just make it look really cool. You can almost hold it up here. It's just a neat blade. Probably let this cool down for a second. All right. Go. We are almost to 10 inches now, so we're definitely still making some progress. Trying to do pretty quick hits out here on the anvil and put it back in so I don't lose the heat. I'm gonna go bring some of this stuff back inside here. Here's some other stuff to show you. This is a cutting board that my 13-year-old son just got done making in his wood class at school, and it turned out absolutely amazing. It's oak and then a couple strips of walnut, and the finish work on it is absolutely awesome. He's got all the corners beveled over and everything is nice and tight and straight. Just absolutely cool. This is the kind of stuff that makes a dad proud for sure. And it pairs well with the kitchen blade that I made out of a pipe wrench. This thing is wicked cool. It definitely still cuts. I haven't messed with the edge at all. Super thin and slicey, and just a really cool combo right here. And then this, I'll bring it out into the sun and show you guys because it's pretty neat. I've been messing around with stabilizing, let me turn that off for a sec. Been messing around with stabilizing wood, and here's one of the pieces that I just finished. This is oak, and you can kind of see some of the dye and the color in it. This was like one of the first pieces I tried, so is it stabilized perfect? Maybe. It definitely has a good polish to it, and it feels heavy. But this is a whisk that belonged to my grandma, who has passed away, and my mom gave it to me and said, hey, can you put a new handle on it? So definitely cool. It's an old whisk, and it's a family whisk, and now it has a nice interesting handle. The oak is definitely cool, especially with the dye that got into some of it. It's really just in spots, you know, kind of blue, red. You can see some more red down at the bottom here, a little bit of blue up here. So it kind of just goes where it goes. You don't really have much control over what it's going to look like. But anyway, I thought it was cool and worth sharing. So yeah, pretty cool little combo kit here. Now all we have left to do is go make some food. Speaking of food, I'm getting hungry. That sounds pretty good. Let's see what this thing's looking like. There we go. So, what's everybody up to today? Tin Can, hello, what's up, buddy? What do you got going on today? Newt says, got a deal for you. I'll make you a double diagonal hammer for a 4-inch blade. A double diagonal hammer. So like a cross peen? Is that what you mean? That would be really cool. And deal accepted. I really need good hammers. And I tell you what, if I can get this billet long enough to make 2 blades, I'll make one for myself and I'll try to make you the other one. I think that sounds like a good trade. Double diagonal hammer. Sounds cool. I don't know my hammers very well. Not really sure what that would be. Anyway, you guys still in here? Hello. If you can hear me, comment something so I know you're in here. There we go. Its faces are at a 45 and does the work of both a cross peen and a straight peen. Okay, I'm down, dude. Let's do it. Do you have any requests as far as a 4-inch blade goes? Would you want this billet, the copper? Do you want mono steel? Do you want Damascus? What would you like? Because I'm sure I can make it happen. And what kind of 4-inch blade are we talking? Just like an EDC style that you could carry with you, or you got a particular design in mind? we're starting to get down to a little bit thinner, which is good. Complete artistic license. I like it. All right. Sounds like a plan, man. I'm totally down. Yeah, I absolutely need a good hammer. This one is awesome, minus the handle. And I suppose I could probably re-handle this thing. I don't have much experience doing that, but, you know, I'm sure I could figure it out. And then it would probably be a decent hammer. I actually found, so they have a company called Diamond. I'm not sure if you guys know about it, but the Diamond brand hammer, I think it's for farriers. At least that's what it's marketed as. There's a kind of a farm hardware store in Springfield, and they have a Diamond rounding hammer. They make two types. One's a 2-pound maybe, and the other one's a 3-pounder, I believe. And so I was thinking about getting one. Diamond hammers are good. Okay, cool. I don't know much about them, but I seen them online and they're like 80 bucks, 100 bucks. Well, in store, they have the 3-pound version for $52. And I almost bought it, but decided not to, just because I didn't know much about them. But I may go back and try to get it. Starting to heat up a little bit out here. It's really not hot, it's just hot next to the forge, I guess. I believe they use 4140 on their heads. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, it looked like a cool hammer. It had really nice polished heads. Really like a chrome look, like they were super polished. Pretty small heads, like they didn't stick out as wide. They're probably more something like this. Maybe not that small, but definitely not as wide as this. And then they have like laminated handles where it's like wood color and then green, and I don't know, it seemed interesting. But you know, you never really know if you haven't had a chance to use it or heard anything about them. I'm about to go live. Do you want to do a dual stream? Let's do it, bro. Diamond brand items are good, centered around farriers, hammers, tongs, and tools. Okay, so you guys are giving me the thumbs up to do it. I like it. I'm definitely going back to the store then and getting one. Okay, Duck, let's do it. Let's bring you on. How do I do that? I'm not sure. Let's see. Green screen? Say what? What's up, y'all? I'm on a green screen, y'all. Oh shit. Now how do I fix that? Oh, I'm screwing it all up. Okay. You're gonna have to tell me. When Eric and I did it, he had to send me an invite link. Okay. It did provide me one of those in the beginning. It asked if I wanted to go live with someone. Let's see here, share with your audience. I don't know now that I'm live if I can add you, or maybe I can, I just don't know how to do it. At least 1 minute of video is needed to start a highlight. We're trying to highlight. Retouch. Let's see, there might be another option, let me check. All right, that's a little on the toasty side. We're gonna let that cool down for a second. New to the channel, I have the same grizzly grinder Thank you for the tips you've shared. Harbor Freight is supposedly coming out with a 2x48. No kidding, that's cool. Well, heck yeah, man. No problem. I'm glad that you found the channel and that it was helpful. Yeah, let's try to figure out how we're going to go live with each other, because I don't know. Turn that forge down some. Okay, yeah, it has to be an invite link. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, so I want to say it's not really giving me any options as far as adding somebody here. I think it has to be done in the beginning. And here I am on the green screen again. How did that happen? Oh, wow. There's a picture of the thumbnail. Okay. Oh, here we go. Put user in timeout. Put user in timeout? What am I, in trouble? Hide user, channel activity, pin message. I just clicked on your name, but it isn't giving me the option to add you. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing anything. But I do remember seeing it in the beginning where it asked if you were going to be adding somebody. So I think maybe you have to start it with that setting on or something. So I don't know. Anyway, what are we at? 73 minutes. It's going good. I probably don't have a lot of time left anyway. To be a new stream. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Next time though, we can do that for sure. That would be cool. I really liked the stream that you and Eric did, and working on the same thing, getting to see you both doing something. Well, getting to see you both do the same thing at the same time was cool. So I'm definitely down to do that for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably going to wrap it up here in a minute anyway. I typically don't stay live for too long. We're maybe an hour and 15 minutes into this. We need to have an email exchange or something because you don't want random people being able to join. Okay, for sure. Yeah, I'll message you on one of the comments or something. I'll give you my email, and then that way we can communicate that way and pick a time or a day or something where we can both get on, and we can do it that way. Because I remember seeing it before here, it had asked if I wanted to invite somebody or whatever, so I do think it's pretty easy to do in the beginning. So yeah, when we're done here, I'll shoot you a comment with my email. What's up, Mr. Sun? How you doing, buddy? Is that Chinese or Japanese? And can we translate? I don't know. I don't know what you're saying, but appreciate you being here. that's starting to get close to where we need it to be. Let's see where we're at now. Alright, so we made it to 10 inches, which is cool. We got another couple inches in length and definitely some in the width. And we've thinned out at least an 1/8 inch, maybe 3/16, so it's still a little bit too thick, but we're making slow progress. And slow progress is better than no progress, I suppose. All right, Duck, appreciate it, man. I'll probably hop on yours here in a minute. I'm getting ready to wrap up, so I'll come and hang out with you. Yeah, so what's up, Chi Rat? How are you, man? I was just telling them I'm probably getting ready to wrap it up here soon. I'm glad you came in right at the end, though. Appreciate you watching the channel and commenting and stuff. Enjoyed talking with you some. And yeah, really appreciate it. I'm out here working on a Cu Mai billet of sorts. I guess it's not a Cu Mai. It's got 9 layers. It's got some copper in it, so it's kind of a Cu Mai 9-layer sort of deal. And yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, it's kind of slow moving for me because I can only do a little bit at a time, but you know, I come and bang on it for a couple of hours, and then, oh, pronounced Shy Rat, gotcha. Chi Rat. Yeah, I'm awesome at pronouncing stuff, so Shy Rat, I like it. Where are you from? What state do you be living in? And what's your deal? What do you like to do? You like knife making or just blacksmithing stuff, or what do you like doing? Chicago, right on, let's go. That's not too far. I'm in kind of Springfield, Missouri area, just south of there. Tell I've really been focusing on pretty much from here up, and you can kind of almost see, you know, sort of kind of where we started. This is a little wider, but definitely getting wider towards the top where I'm hitting it, and not so much at the bottom, but I'll probably work on the bottom some now. I'm in wildlife control. I catch animals, but have gotten great at catching rats. Nice, nice. I bet that's pretty good business in Chicago, I would imagine. That's cool, man. Yep, I think for the most part, we're probably going to wrap it up here. If you guys are still in here watching, I really appreciate you hanging out and spending the Sunday morning with me. It's now Sunday afternoon, so yeah, it's been a really nice time. Appreciate you guys watching and hanging out, and probably catch all of you here soon. So I like someone who can perfect their craft. Nice. Ciao, my friend. Hey, absolutely, Randy, for sure. Definitely going to catch the next part of this billet. I'm I'll probably turn it into another knife build video. Yeah, definitely go, if you're still looking for some blacksmithing stuff, go check out Duck Rabbit. He should be live now, and we'll pass the torch to him. Thanks for the stream. Yep, headed to Duck Rabbit. All right, guys, appreciate it. Newt, I'll stay in touch with you, and we'll get something going. I'll be working on a knife for you, and yeah, I'm totally down to do that. I could use a new hammer for sure. So yeah, I like it. Almost to the point where I got to turn this thing around to heat up the end of this thing. Yeah, definitely gonna need to. But at least we've made some decent progress. All right, yep, there we go. Just got the notification that Duck is live. So that's awesome. You guys go over there and check him out. And right as I'm getting ready to leave, we now have 50 people in here, so 53. That's awesome. Maybe I'm not gonna go. Maybe we'll just keep going. Yeah, if you're in here, say hey. Let us know what your name is, what you're up to. My name is Matt. I'm hanging out here forging some steel. Not trying to take people away from Duck Rabbit by any means necessary, but you know, if we got a good amount of people coming, then we might as well stay and hang out and keep going for a little bit. Not just a mainstream Milwaukee brand knife. That's right. What's your everyday carry? That's what I'm looking for one day soon. Yeah, for sure. Man, my everyday carry. I have it inside somewhere, and it's a knife that I made, and it is the bomb. It is a metal file knife, and it's perfect for me. In fact, if I run inside real quick, I might be able to find it. It's really similar to the green one that I gave away to one of the channel members. His name's Scott Foster. I just gave him one. It's a file knife, and pretty much the same thing. It's just a little bit smaller. See if these tongs are gonna hold. Yeah, for the most part, they're doing pretty good, I suppose. Definitely starting to widen it out a little bit anyway. Just forged a fire ladle. Nice. Let's go, man. That's cool. Yeah, let me run and see if I can't find my EDC. I actually have it. I don't know where it's at, so it'd probably take me a hot minute to go find it, so maybe I won't. I normally keep it in my backpack for work, but I pulled it out the other day, I used it, I set it down, and I don't know what it did with it. It's really cool though, because it's made out of metal file, and then the sheath is super tiny, and it's made out of Kydex, and it doesn't have like a belt clip or anything, so it's one that you just stick on the knife and throw it in your pocket, and for me it works out really well. Yeah, I can drop a short or something about it. In fact, I know I have one somewhere. It's a little tiny metal file knife, and it's got wood for the handle, and it's a wood color, green color, and red. It's kind of like a segmented handle. Yeah, a pocket knife that's more unique. So that's one thing I was talking to my wife about this morning, is it's really cool for YouTube to make bigger knives. You know, something that you can show off a pattern or whatever. But in real life, they're not super practical to use. So if you're going to be making, yeah, can't even carry large knives in Chicago, right? You got to make something kind of small. So I've made a few smaller knives. I know I've got a couple in the shop at least I can go grab. Let me get this again real quick. Yeah, let me go see if I can find a couple of them. Okay, and I'm back. Maybe burned some of the copper, maybe not. I could not find my everyday carry one, and I haven't made a whole lot of smaller knives. Here is a friction folder that I made, and it has a kind of a weird little hook there, and that's for picking boogers out of your nose. I thought that would be really cool, you know? No, that's not what it's for, but it's a bottle opener, or, you know, I guess a bottle opener pretty much. And it does work. I have opened bottles. I actually don't drink beer anymore. I've been sober since 2017, so kind of useless, but I wanted to try it. Anyway, it is just a little friction folder, a small little blade, and it's one that I can carry pretty safely in my pocket. It's got stabilized wood on the outside, some brass liners, and a little metal spacer in the back. And it's, you know, is it the coolest one in the world? No, definitely not. But, you know, I made it, and it's cool for me to carry. I don't really carry this one much anymore. I did for a while. And then here's one that I do carry quite often. This one is like a miniature sword profile. And when I say miniature, I mean like it's supposed to be a large sword, but scaled way down. And the handle is pretty funny because it's super small, kind of meant to just fit in your hand like this. But it's a really good cutter, and the heat treat on this is really good. This has stayed plenty sharp through the time that I've had it. And this thing works out good. You can just throw it in this little sheath, throw it in your back pocket, and then you've got something to cut random stuff with. It's definitely a good one. I probably made this one over 6 months ago, 7 months, and I may have sharpened it. It actually looks decent for the most part. Yeah, so we're still cuts paper somewhat good. Although this is kind of more like a folder style paper, so it's a little thicker. But it's one that I use pretty much every day for all kinds of stuff. It'll cut thick strapping or cardboard boxes or stuff like that. And it's convenient because it's small, which is awesome. You can just throw it in your pocket and go. Alright, well, let's see where we're at now. Feel like we've got some decent length out of it. Yeah, so we're about 10.5 inches maybe, which is pretty good. And definitely thinned out some, at least. I'll probably have to spend a little more time thinning it out because it's still relatively thick. Although I could make a, you know, large chopping style knife out of it if that's what I was going to do. But I'll probably end up trying to get a couple of knives out of this. Anyway, okay, we are 95 minutes in. I told my wife 60 minutes, so we're past that, and I definitely should probably wrap it up. How's the maintenance on it? Sharpening constantly? Not really. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. Some of the knives that I've made you got to sharpen a lot because I didn't really know what I was doing in the beginning, and not all my knives are great, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. You know, this knife making is a process. It's learning from your mistakes. I do have some knives that hold an edge super well, and in particular, the more I do, the better I get. But I typically stick with, you know, easy to use steels, easy to heat treat, 1080, 1075, 80 CRV2, 15 and 20, 5160 spring steel. Try to stick with kind of the easy beginner ones. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with them, and yeah, they're easier to get it right, pretty much. So anyway, I am definitely going to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys hanging out for this long, and yeah, we'll definitely do it again here soon, and I'll be posting a video here hopefully soon on what we're going to be making out of this thing. And if I can get it thin enough, it will be a couple of knives. So anyway, appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.